What Hanukkah means to me. Hanukkah means a lot to me. The delicious traditional foods, the latkes and donuts, and presents. The lighting of the menorah and the exciting game of dreidel. But I think there's a deeper more meaning. The Hanukkah story is all about light conquering over darkness. The Greeks wanted the Jews to be just like them. They forced Jews not to learn Torah and not do mitzvahs. A man by the name of Matisyahu had faith and appointed his son Yehuda to lead the Maccabees, a small but faithful and courageous group of Jews who decided to stand up for what's right. Although it was a small army with few weapons, they miraculously won a victory. When they came to the Beis HaMikdash, they found that they cannot light the menorah because the Greeks had made all the oil they used to light impure. Finally, after tiringly searching, they found one jug of oil. There was a problem. It was only enough to last one day. Nevertheless, they used it. The oil miraculously lasted 8 days and nights. I think that a lot of darkness has entered this world, and that we have to be just like the Maccabees and stand up for what's right. Even though the darkness may seem overpowering, we can remember that small jug of oil that lasted 8 days and nights. It was small, but it burned through all the days and nights. We can't be held back. We have to stand up for what's right. This is what Hanukkah means to me. It is a reminder to be just like the Maccabees and stand up for what's right and shine light.
Now let's see that beautiful sash you got there. You want to show it off to everybody? And now I get to put this around your neck and declare you officially one of our 2 winners. Sorry, there you go. Nice, beautiful medallion. And I hope and I wish that you have a lot of success in your studies and make your family very proud of you. Happy Hanukkah. Our second winner is Sarah Balanoff from New York Hebrew in Manhattan. She's going to share her winning essay with us. Sarah?
What Hanukkah means to me. Hanukkah is my favorite holiday for many reasons. Spending time with family is most important and fun. It's spending uninterrupted time with friends and family, having lots of fun, enjoying sufganiyot and latkes, and remembering the miracle of the oil when it lasted 8 nights when it should have lasted 1. Lighting candles on Hanukkah reminds me of lighting candles on Shabbat. Like on Shabbat, when lighting the Hanukkah candles, I feel one with the world and unified once I meditate and finish the blessings. The candles shine bright to reveal light, so even in the grimmest of times, the light will always appear the brightest against all darkness. And finally, 8 days of giving and receiving. To me, giving and receiving on Hanukkah is about sharing happiness and cheer. When we share unconditionally, it helps us connect as human beings, see each other's soul with love. Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Whoa, thank you for that. You're going to lower the mic so everyone can see your sash, too. And then Mrs. Taitlin's going to put your medallion around your neck for you to wear and go home with this case that you get. Make sure the photo comes out right so your mom's happy. Thank you very, very much. Have a happy Hanukkah. Let's hear it for those 2 wonderful kids. this point, I would like to introduce a clip that we have shown before but remains just as relevant. It is a clip of something the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who founded all of this that we see, that has spread across the country and the world to some 11 or 12,000 celebrations. With members of the military here, I want to mention it's Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, the day that drew us into the Second World War, as I mentioned before. But two things struck me today. One is we have a Japanese television crew who is broadcasting this celebration, which shows that even bitter enemies can find a way, if they are sincere, to reconcile and even be friends. And the other thing that struck me is that just a few hours ago, at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, from which the wicked evil of the Nazi regime spread forth, tonight, the German chancellor attended the lighting of a menorah right there at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. We can applaud for that. First time in history. But the message is simple. When it's dark, it doesn't mean it's permanent. It just means that we have to get stronger in order to prevail. So I'd like to introduce at this time the video clip of which I spoke, of the Rebbe's inspiration, and then I will show you how we implement what he said, even in these days. Please turn your attention to the screens.
Und das wird noch unterstrichen, wie gesagt, in der Tag von Hanukkah, als zugekommen der Mitzvah von Eres Hanukkah, was sehr Mitzvah ist doch, als machen lichtig, und machen lichtig al besser, besser mit Bachutz, in einem Leben, aber das macht lichtig sei bei sich in Huis, in Besser. Und das macht lichtig Bachut, was a Cheshach Chasse Ores, a viele in der Zeit von Finsterkeit von Golus und in der Welt, macht a Jid lichtig durch Idischkeit, durch Ner Mitzvah Vetero
And how is that implemented? Well, I remember when I was 12 years old, the Rebbe called for the founding of Tzivos Hashem. We see too many images of little children holding machine guns, learning how to count by how many Jews they may have disposed of, God forbid. And the Rebbe said, we cannot just protest that. We have to counter it with something brighter. And he established Tzivos Hashem, which would be the forces of God to bring brightness into life. Anyone under bar or bat mitzvah could join. I was 12 years old. I was one of the first members. I was discharged after only 2 months. I didn't reach a high rank. But we do have 2 children here who are the highest ranking members of this organization. And years ago when we met with President Obama, they wanted a boy or girl who had excelled, so we didn't know how to choose. We figured this was based on merit. And we said, these are 5-star generals or 4-star generals in Tzivos Hashem. I just put it in the briefing memo. He walks into the Oval Office and he greets the little boy and girl and says, "Hi, General." And I can only imagine the power of the commander-in-chief greeting a general who has gotten their rank by doing mitzvot, by reaching out to the less fortunate, visiting the elderly, visiting the sick, making the world brighter with what they do, not threatening others, but to bring out the joy of life in others. So we have asked that they be given their 5-star rank right here in our presence in this special place. And I'd like to bring Sterna Sarah Roskin from Baltimore, who will receive her 5-star rank right here. She has your hand. We are very, very proud of what you're accomplished. And General, I want to salute you on behalf of everybody who's here. Continue this path in life and help make the world a better and brighter place in every way you can. Mazel tov to you. The highest ranking boy in Tzivos Hashem is Yitzhak Mayor Davidson. He's all the way from Los Angeles. And I'd like to have the honor to place his 5-star general cap for his reaching the pinnacle of this program. And I salute you on behalf of everybody who's here. And I want to wish you will continue in this wonderful path of using the energy of your youth to make the world and life brighter and better for as many people, especially the less fortunate who really, really need you. Mazel tov to you too. I understand that the second gentleman of the United States has arrived to the site and will be joining us momentarily. I would like to welcome to the podium at this point Rabbi Abraham Shem Tov, our National Director.
Thank you very much. Welcome for the opportunity to join in this special moment. It's interesting that in the laws connected with the day that we are marking here today now, the Gemara says, the Talmud says, Ner Hanukkah, the candle of Hanukkah, which means the marking of this holiday. Al Pesach mitzvah lanichaya Pesach beise b'chutz. Not only that we do it, but in doing it, we do it where we put it on the entrance of the door to the house outside. And it is a question immediately. We have to mark, light the Ner Hanukkah, the menorah, that's order. But the question is where particularly this should be done and placed. That's very unique. And it enters over here on the entrance of the home outside. What does that mean? Is it an entrance to the home to indicate that it belongs to the home? So then why in the door and outside, in any place? But it says over here that the observance of Hanukkah carries with it a very important message to us in life in general. That which we are doing carries with it the extension that it has for outside of ourselves. And that is, of course, when it's done on the outside. So it is an inside activity, but it's done outside because it shares with the rest of the world that carries a message that comes to them as well. There's much that can be said about this one line in the Talmud, but it carries such an important attention from our part as to what it means here at this time of the year, in this moment, in this gathering, the opportunity that we have, that we participate and become participated in the entire world, Klal Yisrael, and the trial mankind in the world, in recognizing that we are not here by ourselves, we are not here by accident, we are here by the order of Hashem, of God, and it is up to us to turn the order into an active influence and effect on us by the observance of our life according to the Torah. Being here gives me the opportunity to thank Hashem, and I welcome you all, and I join you all in wishing a happy Hanukkah, great appreciation to everyone who has put together this, headed by our dear son, the head of the organization. But all of us together have the opportunity. We are reminded to do it together, each and every one of us, his part, those who are Jewish in the observance of Hanukkah, everyone else taking the message along, and we should hope to see the fulfillment of Hashem's return to Zion and the world in the condition that we're all looking forward to, B'korev b'yameinu mamash. Thank you very much, and happy Hanukkah, and forgive me for holding you up extra and for not having full control in putting together 3 words.
Thank you very much. I am delighted, in ways hard to describe, that my father is able to join us and deliver these words as is our custom, and has not missed a year in all of the years that we've done this. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this together. And it's at this point that I really want to have a special thank you for the managing director of the National Menorah Council, Rabbi Menachem Shem Tov, who put this whole site together. We can do a little better than that. Let's hear it for Rabbi Menachem Shem Tov. Doug Emhoff. Have you heard that name before? I heard that name only a few years ago. And the first time I welcomed the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, to this podium, I didn't really know him. But he came to bring the prestige of the administration to this important celebration. But I've met him many times since. And I just want to say my personal feeling here. There are many Jewish people who have reached the pinnacle of American life to become a household name and well known across the land. Many of them Jewish, but not proudly so. Some prefer not to discuss it. Some make extra steps to go the other way so that they shouldn't be perceived in their Jewishness too much. Not Doug Emhoff. Since he was here 2 years ago, the Jewish people in America, across the world, and now in Israel especially, have begun to suffer in ways we haven't known before. And given a plethora of issues he could have taken as his own, he decided to bring his own personal identity to the issue affecting the Jewish community. He has done so not only well and very articulately, but I can tell you, having been invited several times to meetings which he presided over, this is a man who feels what he says. I can only say one thing in introducing him, because this is something I feel in my kishkas, as President Obama would say. My kishka factor. This comes from deep in my own feeling. And I say it, I hope, on behalf of all of you. When you hear Doug Emhoff speak from the heart, you will be affected by the experience. So we're delighted that he's taken the time. And after that, we'll have a few quick announcements. We'll light the menorah. I know it's chilly and we have to conclude. But at this point, I'd like to welcome to the stage the second gentleman of the United States, Mr. Doug Emhoff.
Thank you, Rabbi. Rabbi Shem Tov, for that amazing introduction and for bringing us all together tonight and always for this incredible event. Congratulations to the students. I think I met some of you on your incredible accomplishment. And thank you to the President's own United States Marine Band for playing for us tonight. They're always amazing. Thank you all. Good to see you. On behalf of President Biden, my wife, Vice President Harris, First Lady, I want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah. Now look, normally this is a time of celebration and joy. I want us to celebrate Hanukkah. And I know right now that might seem a little far-fetched to some of you. I know you're in pain. I'm in pain. I know a lot of us are feeling unmoored and afraid. We've not seen anything like this moment, and I know it's scary. Just look at the news just the past couple of days. What have we seen? We've seen the presidents of some of our most elite universities literally unable to denounce calling for the genocide of Jews as anti-Semitic. That lack of moral clarity is simply unacceptable. We've seen a restaurant owner who's a friend of mine accused of genocide simply because he's Jewish. We've all seen college students afraid to go to class. We've seen people afraid to go to markets, afraid to go to synagogues, literally being attacked on our streets. Let me be clear. When Jews are targeted because of their beliefs or identity, and when Israel is singled out because of anti-Jewish hatred, that is anti-Semitism, and it must be condemned. And condemned unequivocally and without context. I've spent the whole time since I've been second gentleman, as Rabbi said, talking out about anti-Semitism. But since October 7th, that horrible day, I have been speaking out publicly as much as I can on what I am calling and what we know to be a crisis of anti-Semitism. But I've also been reaching out privately to many people just to check in, just to see how they're doing, how they're feeling. And the common denominator of these conversations is that we feel alone, we feel hated, we feel we're in pain. But we also talk about how we can rededicate ourselves, how we can recommit ourselves to our pride and our love of being Jewish. And that concept of dedication, rededication, I believe, is the meaning of Hanukkah. I want you to know that President Biden and Vice President Harris and this entire administration have your back. The administration and our community, we put the work in, so we now have the tools to meet this moment. Last December, we convened a roundtable with Jewish leaders at the White House to discuss the growing threat of anti-Semitism even a year ago. And some of you in the audience tonight were there. Soon afterwards, President Biden stood up an interagency, all-of-government task force to address this epidemic of hate. In May, I'm proud to say that the Biden-Harris administration announced the first ever national strategy to counter anti-Semitism and got to work implementing it immediately. And that is why we were ready to engage and act at this perilous and pivotal moment. We are taking action. As attacks increased on college campuses, Secretary of Education Cardona and I met with leaders of major Jewish organizations. Again, some of you are here tonight. And we can see the Department of Education is taking action to ensure that colleges protect their students. President Biden and Vice President Harris have also been working to ensure Israel has the support it needs. Thank you. Because of their leadership, more than 100 hostages, including 4 Americans, are home. We will continue to do all we can to reunite the hostages with their family members. And I personally know how important this issue is to President Biden and Vice President Harris. And President Biden, we are so lucky to have President Biden as our president. A couple of days after the horrible attack on 10/7, he and I spoke at another roundtable with Jewish leaders. That was very difficult for me to imagine how I was going to do that so soon after October 7th. But our president in the whole room looked me in the eye and just asked, "How are you doing?" And I just said, "Not okay." He took my hand, his hands, my hands, and he said, "We're going to be okay. Let's just go out and tell the world how you feel." It was in that moment that those emotions just got me. They hit me. I'm so thankful for his support each and every day. Thank you. My wife, the Vice President, she has always pushed me into this issue and have me lean into it. And she said, "This moment found you, and now get to work." And I've tried to do that each and every day. So even as we face what feels like such empty darkness right now, I am hopeful. Look at the story of Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah and the story of Jewish people has always been one of hope and resilience. In the Hanukkah story, the Jewish people were forced into hiding. No one thought they would survive or that few drops of oil they had would last. But they did survive, and the oil kept burning. And during those 8 days in hiding, they recited their prayers and continued their traditions. And that's why Hanukkah means dedication. It was during those dark nights that the Maccabees dedicated themselves to maintaining hope and faith in the oil, each other, and their Judaism. So in these dark times, I think of that story. But I also think of everything it took for me to be here tonight. I think of my ancestors. This past January, I visited the town in what is now Poland that my family fled to escape persecution. I even got to see the apartment where they lived and the temple where they worshiped. And I know the sacrifice that they made to leave their home and come to this great country. I know that was hard. And I know that many, including some in my family, weren't able to escape. So only in America would the descendant of people who had to flee from persecution be standing here with all of you as the first ever Jewish spouse of an American president or vice president. So even though it feels like these are dark times, we will continue to live out the legacy of the generations of ancestors who came before us. We will rededicate ourselves to embracing our faith and practicing our traditions. We cannot live in fear or be afraid. We must always live openly and proudly as Jews. Happy Hanukkah.
Really, really.
thank you so much. I would only disagree with a few words of what you said, and that is, you say you try every day. You know, my uncle came from Europe, and he said he found out that I will means maybe, I'll try means forget it. You don't try, you do. And that's a very big difference, and I want everybody here to acknowledge that. We're about to light the menorah and conclude our program. I just would like to acknowledge certain people who've made this possible. As you know, the government affords us every right to do this, but it's privately funded. To that end, I'd like to thank our sponsors this evening. First, I'd like to thank Hudson Bay Capital, whose chairman and CEO are with us this evening, and we'd like to invite the chairman, unless he's already gotten harnessed up, but if he's here, can join me, Sander Gerber. Chevron, which is looking for ways to make one jug of oil last 8 days, and actually told me on the phone yesterday that make sure people know we're looking for renewable energy. Suffolk Construction, whose chairman and CEO, Mr. John Fish, couldn't be here tonight, but I just want to repeat 3 sentences he said a while ago at dinner with us. He came there and identified himself. He said, too often in life, people didn't speak out. And he said that he's an Irish Catholic from Boston, who's the chairman of the board of trustees of a Jesuit university. And he's here at a dinner of the Jewish community to speak out. And therefore, I want to express appreciation not only to Suffolk, but to him personally for taking that stand and for expressing publicly that there would be many like him who would follow suit and do the same. And I do believe that as much as we resent those who hate us, we must recognize the John Fishes of this world who are with us. We have to recognize the Eric Adams of this world who are with us. They are not co-religionists, but they're fellow human beings. And you know, Mr. Mayor, I was thinking about your name. I don't know what Eric means, but Adam describes the first human being created. God created only one. Because since we're all descended from Adam, we should know we're all special in a unique way. God doesn't make mistakes. If he created us, he wants us and he needs us. We may look different, we may live different, we may do many things differently from each other, but God loves us all and expects us to bring brightness into the darkness and warmth into the cold. And I think that all of those out here who are not Jewish, including the members of the military who defend our very right to do what we're doing here, deserve the biggest round of applause. We want to thank the Shine a Light Foundation for all of the fantastic work that they have been doing across the country to raise awareness and counter this terrible scourge we've been seeing. And also a special mention to the Mayberg Foundation, Louis and Minette Mayberg, who've helped this become what it is when it was very small, but nurtured the American Friends of Lubavitch, Chabad, to grow and be able to reach more and more people. And they have done so many wonderful things, and I believe that they are here. So if Louis and Minette, if you wouldn't mind just standing and saying hello to everybody for 1 second. Please, round of applause for the people who make this possible. I'd like to also acknowledge the Morris Oring Foundation, Mr. Morris Oring, who's here with us tonight, Alter and Rachel Burke, Mark and Nancy Penn, Isaac and Hilda Applebaum, Jonathan and Laura Barron, Zev and Esty Drizzen, the Daravoff family, The Epstein family, I believe Boris is here with us tonight. Thank you for being here. Bill Knapp and Jeannie Milbauer, who are here, and not only tonight, but they're always there for us. Seth and Rivka Weisberg, who are representing the Weisberg Foundation and their own support, and have flown in from Colorado just to be here. Can you please stand and be recognized? ISRI, the recycling, thank you. Thank you very much. ISRI, the recycling industry, who brought together all of the recycling companies to make that brand new menorah of recycled aluminum, showing us that you can make good things out of what seems gone. Verizon, who says they wish everybody would use them to wish each other happy Hanukkah. Harry Ajmi and his family, and Choni Hertzka and his family. And I'm going to conclude with this. I had remarks, but time went by. They say there was a king named Tessa who took a loan of grain and said, I want to be repaid very simply. I want you to give me a grain of rice. The next day, I want 100% compounded interest. 2 grains of rice. Then the next day, I'd like 4 grains of rice. The person took the deal and figured, how bad could it be? Well, you do the math. Anyone who knows computing knows that when you start 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32, it doesn't sound like that much. But you know that after day 30, you'll be up to 1 million. When the day before was only 500,000. The day before, it was 120-something thousand. Anti-Semitism has done that, my friends. It's gone from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32, and nobody really noticed. But it's starting to double and compound. And I'm so happy the second gentleman said it so clear. We can't be afraid. We have to be strong. And we have to double our efforts. We have to do more than we've done before. We can't have this asymmetrical where everybody beats us up so terribly and we don't fight back with everything we have. So I hope you'll take his message to heart like I did. I told you, after he speaks from the heart, you're changed from the experience. And go home, light the Hanukkah menorah, find someone who doesn't have one and give them a menorah. Invite them over, share the love, share the light, bring the warmth into the world, because one thing the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught us is when you kindle a light, the dark has no choice. It has to disappear. So on that note, I'm going to, thank you. On that note, I'm going to proceed with the lighting of the menorah. I would just ask that after the menorah is lit, people stand in place, because we will conclude with Oseh Shalom and God Bless America. When we sing Oseh Shalom, I want you to remember our brothers and sisters in Israel who are suffering, like we are all suffering. I don't know what you think of Elon Musk, and I'm not about to poll you, but he wore a dog tag around his neck the other day that said, "My heart is in Gaza." And I know we are very unhappy about a lot of things on X, and I hope they don't cut all the feeds on X going on from this. But if you're watching, Mr. Musk, I want to tell you, I don't care what you did last month or last year. I care about what you did in the last 2 weeks. Keep on doing it and help the world eradicate this evil that's going to eat us all up alive if we don't all get together to stop it. So we'll light the menorah that reminds us of this, and then, of course, we'll conclude with God Bless America after the lighting, which pays homage to our land that we live in, that gives us this freedom. To the men and women of the armed forces, may they be kept safe by the Almighty God at the tip of the spear, stateside and abroad, and all come home safely, safe and sound, back to their families in good health and happiness. And we're about to light the menorah. Sandra, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Rabbi. You know, America is the greatest country on earth. Like the menorah, it's a moral beacon to the world. We should not abide calls for genocide. I'd just like to repeat, we should not abide calls for genocide. Thank you. Happy Hanukkah.
We'll see you in just a moment. Please rise for the lighting and remain standing afterwards for the final 2 tunes. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai. their sword when our own strength failed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us.
Thank you very, very much. Just before we conclude, I believe she's here. I saw her before. I meant to acknowledge Shelley Greenspan, the White House Jewish liaison. Let's hear it for Shelley. Helps coordinate Jewish things for the White House. Not an easy job, I can tell you that. So if you wouldn't mind, please stay in place just for the final two songs. Let's remember for Oseh Shalom, we want to bear in mind our brothers and sisters in Israel. May they live in peace. May the hostages come home freely, safely, in good health, and very soon. God bless America. Please pray for our troops.
Oseh Shalom Yivromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'yimru, Yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom Yivromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael.
God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night from the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Beautiful, amazing. Please make your way to the back over there to my right for some delicious latkes and donuts provided by the Signature Group. Have a safe trip home. Happy Hanukkah, one and all. Have a good night. Thank you once again to the Marines.